overview of Photoshop, just so that you're familiar with Photoshop and some of the basic functions of Photoshop. Once you open Photoshop, you will come up with an interface like this. Obviously, the top bar looks about the same with some typical types of menu items. But then you also have a strip up here. This I don't use much. This I also don't use much. This is a little bit more advanced. It will determine what types of items you have depending on the type of procedure you're going to be working on. So depending on what type of thing you're going to be doing, you may need a variety of different tools. So it's an easy way to access tools depending on the type of task you're going to complete. You're really only going to need to use Essentials for this one. So we'll go ahead and click on that. And you'll also notice that you have a couple panels over here. You'll probably just need to experiment with these panels here. The color is exactly what it seems like it is. It's just a little bit more of a detailed view than the color swatch over here. You can adjust a little bit more freely if you want. But the main thing that you're going to use within Photoshop, very, very important to know about, are layers. I'm going to show you that in a little bit. But layers are simply that. They are layers of imaginary paper, transparent paper, if you will, placed on top of each other, or layers of objects placed on top of each other. As you'll see in a little bit, you can make those disappear. You can change one layer and leave the rest of the image the same. But that's essentially what it is. You also have your toolbar on the left-hand side. There's a lot of tools here, and there are actually even more than you would imagine that there are, because if you'll notice a little arrow in the lower right-hand corner of some of these, if you press and hold, you'll get additional tools that you can use. So that's something that sometimes people don't realize when they're looking at the toolbar. So again, that's press and hold, and then you can just move your mouse. While you're holding the mouse, you can move it over and access those extra tools. The main tools that you'll use are the Move tool. If you'll notice, you also have in parentheses a shortcut for activating that. I'm going to press V. You'll notice that it activated it. The one below it is the Marquee tool. It's the Select tool. I'm going to press M because that's the shortcut, and you'll notice that it changes. Now notice also that these options change up here as you go from tool to tool. You'll kind of figure that out as you go along. But this is the Lasso tool. This is how you're going to select certain objects. Let me open up an object real quick just to give a quick understanding of it. I am going to actually open up an eagle logo so that you can get familiar with that. Actually manipulating a logo. Now you'll notice that there's white in the background, and that looks, I have to be honest with you, this is one of the biggest design flaws that you'll see in documents and publications is not having a transparent background against the main object that is being shown. But I'll show you how to remove that background. This is the background that I'm talking about. This is, of course, the main object. But we don't want this background because it just looks square. It doesn't look shaped. So I'll show you how to remove that. Now this Lasso tool is going to just, it's kind of a free form select tool. And then you can move that around. And even you can cut out objects from that by holding down the Command key and moving it. Okay, and then of course the background that is selected here is going to be underneath. I'm going to Command Z that. I'm going to deselect by pressing Command D for deselect. The other tools that are possible are the magnetic lasso tool. The polygonal lasso tool is, I don't use that much, but the magnetic lasso tool I sometimes use. And it will actually, as you draw along, it'll sense where that object is. So it's kind of an easier way to maybe cut out an object. However, there's a much, much easier way to cut out this background. You're going to use the magic wand. Now, sometimes this doesn't work, but the vast majority of the time it does. I'm going to go ahead and select it and then press enter, and you'll see that it automatically selects everything that has kind of a similar color to what I selected, and that's that white background. Now, of course, it has to be side by side. It has to be against that other color. So you'll notice that this white inside of the eagle did not get removed, or selected, I should say. Now, if I wanted to, now this area is selected. If I wanted to change the color of it, I could go to the fill and then press that, and it would fill everything other than what was selected, or what was not selected, I should say. I'm going to Command Z both of that. Oh, actually, here's something that you need to realize, that Command Z, if you press it twice, doesn't really work well. You might just go to step backwards, and that will actually undo that. Let's see. So I selected this. I want to actually make the background transparent so that there's nothing really in the background. So I'm going to deselect this, and you'll notice that the background is just the image. I need to create another background. Okay, I'm going to create a layer though. So I control-clicked on the layer, and I'm going to click Duplicate Layer. Okay, you can name this something else. I'm going to keep it the same. Hit OK. Actually, I'm going to make 2 duplicate layers. And this one I'm going to delete. I'm going to get it out of the way because it's locked and you can't do a whole lot of things with it. Now with this background layer, I'm going to go ahead and hit delete. And you'll notice that the image disappeared within this layer. Now, of course, you've got the image still showing, okay? But that's because the image layer is on top of the transparent layer. Okay, I am going to click on this eye to make that layer go away. Okay, now so you notice that it's just the transparent background. You can tell it's transparent because it has that checkered pattern with the gray and white squares in it. So that means that the background is transparent. I'm going to put that eagle back on there, and I'm going to select the white again with the wand. Nope. You got to make sure that whenever you select it, you're on the right layer. That's kind of frustrating. Sometimes you don't realize it. So I actually selected the wand on the transparent background, so it selected everything. I'm going to go back to this layer. I'm going to deselect it, Command D. And now I'm going to select it again with the magic wand. Okay, and you'll notice that it went around again all of the white, except for the white that's inside, of course, because it's not adjoining. One thing that you also, before I delete this white space, I want you to notice this right here. This is your tolerance, and what it does is it samples the color and it determines how much to actually include within that selected area. So if you have some similar colors, like so let's say a white and a gray, if the tolerance is a little bit higher, then it's going to accept those grayer colors along with the white colors. If you have the tolerance set at 50, it's going to accept a huge range of colors. But if the tolerance is at 5, it's only going to select very specific colors, very close to the initial color that you selected. Okay, so just keep that in mind, that tolerance. Now I'm going to hit delete, and then it's going to delete that white background. I've got a transparent background for my eagle, and so now when I put it into my business card or my website or whatever, you're not going to have that white background surrounding that eagle. Okay. The last thing that we need to do is save this as an image. You'll notice that it's saved currently as a JPEG. Now, a JPEG does not allow for transparency. So if you were to save this as a JPEG, it's going to put that white background back in. Okay? It does not allow for transparency. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it either as a GIF or a PNG. Now, if you have a really small graphic, a GIF will work, but the quality is not very good if you're going to have it a little bit larger, or if you're going to put it in a print type of document. So you'll want to use the PNG. Okay, the PNG is the other type of document that allows for transparency. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Save As because I don't want to save it over my JPEG. And I'm going to change the format. I'll keep the file name the same. I'll change the format to PNG. And just for the heck of it, because I think I already have one of these, I'm going to change this to my desktop. So now you have the Eagle Large PNG. Again, this allows for transparency. Okay, and I'm going to hit Save. Okay. And now your Eagle is transparent. So when you put it into your business card or website, you won't have that background on it.